January 11th, 2013 update video. As far as the New Year's resolutions go, it actually went as good as it possibly could have considering external circumstances for which I have no control. So I did indeed pack my lunch and took it to work every day. Felt good. Feels good to have something to munch on between stops. Considering that I'm off the testosterone, and I have been for 3 weeks, I feel fine. But the load at work has gone down a bit, so I don't know if it's because of that. I don't know if it's because of the, actually eating during my shift. I don't know if it's the increase in the HCG injections, but I felt fine, felt good all week, last couple of weeks. So that's gone well. The fast food and convenience store food, normally I'd go, let's say, I would either hit up a fast food restaurant or convenience store 12 times a week. I went twice. Went to Burger King and got a chicken sandwich before work one day. 2 nights ago, I got a 10-inch pizza. I don't know if you can call that fast food. And I went to a convenience store once, so I guess that was 2.5 times. Every other day, and even on those days, I packed my lunch. I did wind up dropping like 8 pounds this week, though. Despite the load at work being less, so I'll take that too. As far as the socialization aspect and the getting to the gym and then going and getting some UV light exposure aspect, I didn't do it because I've had these for a while. I've mentioned before that for 75% of the time I've worked this job, so I've worked there for going on a year and a half now, so about a year or more, I've had hand stiffness, hand soreness, when I go to sleep at night, the hands and wrists and forearms, they fall asleep and then they start throbbing and tingling, and I wake up in the morning and my hands feel like they're sort of like stiff and swollen and itchy, and an itch that you can't scratch. You can scratch it all you want, but it never satisfies the itch. Been experiencing that off and on. I found that getting the braces and sleeping with these at night just first I tried heat, and heat kind of worked, but not so much, and I got these braces, and these will, 95% of the time allow my arms to stay awake at night as I'm sleeping, so they don't wake up throbbing. I don't wear these to work. I was wearing them right now because on my days off, when I'm not active, it's when my hands and wrists start to act up. When I'm working, they feel mostly fine. So, like a month ago, I went to, did I say this in my last video? I don't know. But a month ago, I went to a general doctor, just to sort of address this and to get an overall physical. She referred me to a neurologist to get an EMG on both of my arms. Did that a few weeks ago. It took them like almost 2 weeks to get back to me. Got a call, and the results of the EMG, which they shock your arms and each finger and your palms, and the shocks are kind of interesting. It makes your hands sort of involuntarily flex and relax. But then the EMG aspect, where they stick needles, like I guess they're acupuncture needles, stuck it in my bicep and my forearms and my palms, and he's like, yeah, you'll barely feel it. I wasn't really all that afraid until he kept like trying to reassure me. I'm like, it's fine, just do it. It wasn't that comfortable, especially into your flexed palm. They call this like your thenar prominence or something like that, and then flexing with a needle in the muscle. Fucking terrible. But got back to me there, and the diagnosis through that test was severe bilateral carpal tunnel. And I thought this pain was stemming from my elbows, because I do think I have like a tennis elbow in both elbows. And I think I probably still do. But it came back as severe bilateral carpal tunnel. And so they referred me to a hand specialist. And so I call them, and I'm speaking with the woman on the phone to make an appointment for this upcoming Thursday, so like a week from now. And I ask, like, so what does that mean? With that diagnosis, what does that mean? And the gist that I got, and I was half asleep when I called her since it was in the middle of my day, middle of the day, which is when I sleep. The information that she gave me, and she wasn't a therapist, she was just a receptionist, but she works with hand-related issues all the time, so I guess she knows what she's talking about, was basically I had my choice between like a full-on open me up and you cut the tendon. I've seen the pictures. I don't know the anatomy well enough to speak exactly what they cut, but it releases the ligaments. It releases the pressure on that median nerve, which causes the tingling and pain and numbness. Or a scope, which I think is essentially the same thing but less invasive. Um, so you mean to tell me this severe carpal tunnel, which for the most part, my hands are, when I'm working, I don't wear gloves. I don't wear braces. I only wear these at night or when I'm inactive. For the most part, my hands are fine. Maybe 5% of my week is spent thinking about, oh, my hand is somewhat uncomfortable. The rest of the time, they're fine. So for this, hands are slightly stiff and sore sometimes, and sometimes they fall asleep at night. The only alternative is a choice between two cut me open surgeries, and surgeries where the prognosis is not all that great. The success rate's not that great. So one doctor will say 90%, but then he'll offer like a caveat, like, well, technically it's a 90% success rate, where 90% say they're happy they got the surgery, but only about half of that 90% says that their hands get back to normal, that they don't still have some tingling or numbness or pain. Like, I can understand if I were like crippled and I couldn't go through my day and like, oh my gosh, this is something that's always on my mind. I need to get cut open. And so they cut this thing. It seems like that's almost maiming you. Like you have had this junction, this joint, this soft tissue joint cut, and it opens up the palm a bit and relieves the pressure on this nerve, but that will not grow back. I mean, this part of your hand is now compromised for life. So you're deforming yourself for life. You may have decreased grip strength. You may still have some pain and numbness. For this, you know, I I don't understand how I only have a choice between two different surgeries. So I'm going to go in and see the hand therapist and see what they have to say. I need them to explain to me that it's impossible to solve this any other way. Because it seems to me that the muscles that connect to that ligament, why can't you just stretch those out? It's all soft tissue. Why can I not, open up that tunnel and improve this without actually maiming myself for life? That doesn't make any sense to me. So, and it's like 8 weeks recovery time. If I take 8 weeks off from work, I'm not gonna have a job. They may not technically be able to, because I guess OSHA or whomever, they don't. I read some information that led me to believe that while everybody knows this is a repetitive stress injury and typically it would be caused on the job, that the job will not recognize it as such. So essentially, I'd be asking them to take 8 weeks off. I may or may not get paid, but my position would not be secure. You know, having not shown up every day for 8 weeks, I can't risk the job that pays better than twofold better than any job I've ever had before for 8 weeks recovery time, just to go back and hope that this doesn't make it so that I cannot perform that job function anymore. So I'm going to go in there and hopefully the doctor's open-minded enough to offer me some constructive advice on non-surgical options. So right now my goal is to at least make it through, I feel okay to fall when I have 2 years experience, and then maybe at that point I can think about getting a job that's less physically active yet pays the same. But I definitely can't take 8 weeks off from work to correct something that's not really affecting me that bad. They called it severe, though. According to the EMG, it's severe. If I give you a handshake and I wanted to try to impress you with some masculine douchiness, I could still crush the fuck out of your hand with my grip strength, like, and it doesn't bother me most of the time, so I can't imagine that. I don't know where this diagnosis of severe comes from, but I think that is a fair excuse for having not gone to the gym and not got involved in the jiu-jitsu, especially the jiu-jitsu. I could still go to the gym and accomplish many things with bad hands and wrists. So that is on me. The jiu-jitsu, on the other hand, I need to push off until I can figure out some stretching routine or better way to immobilize my hands while on the job, because I can do the job with these on. I have worn these before just sort of as an experiment. It's not as comfortable. It's not as fluid since I use my hands for every single stop, but I can get the job done without too much inconvenience. So I guess from now on I'm gonna try to wear these. The video cut off for some reason, so hopefully I figured out a way to patch the two parts together. I think I hit one of the mouse buttons. But anyways, yeah, I guess I'll just try to wear these at work and wear them while sleeping and get some type of stretching routine. Hopefully the stretching routine in and of itself can repair the problem. Again, it's all soft tissue related. So I don't understand how you can't open up that carpal tunnel through extending rather than flexing all the time. I'm flexing all the time at work. And most people flex at night when they sleep, so if I can work on my extension and open that up naturally, I can't imagine that's not an option. So anyways, other than that, things are going okay. So I will post again soonish, and next time I should have no excuse not having at least gone to the gym to do something. I can still do many, many things without my hands and wrists. So, yeah, I have nothing else to say. So, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and until next time.